Hey everyone, have you ever been listening to an English speaker and you know every single word they're saying, but the sentence as a whole makes absolutely no sense? Well, chances are you've just run into a phrasal verb. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these super common, kind of tricky word combos that are just essential for sounding fluent. Let's jump right in.
So picture this. Your boss tells you they'll look into your request. Are they literally going to grab a magnifying glass and peer into a folder? No, probably not, right? What they actually mean is they'll investigate it or examine it. And that, right there, is the weird and wonderful world of phrasal verbs, where 2 plus 2 doesn't always equal 4.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack what makes these things such a puzzle. Then, I'll show you the simple little formula behind them. It's kind of like magic. After that, we'll look at a ton of real examples. And finally, we'll talk about why getting a handle on this is your shortcut to sounding way more natural when you speak English.
All right, let's start with the puzzle itself. How is it possible that you can know two perfectly simple words, but when they get together, you're suddenly lost? Let's break that down.
Think about it. You know the word give. You know the word up. Simple. But when you put them together, give up, the meaning suddenly becomes to quit or surrender. It has nothing to do with handing something over in an upward direction. And that's the core of the puzzle we're going to solve today.
So how does this happen? It might feel totally random, but believe it or not, there's a simple, almost magical formula behind it all. Let's deconstruct it.
Okay, so here's the official breakdown. A phrasal verb has two basic ingredients. You start with a regular verb, an action word. Then you add something called a particle, which is just a fancy name for a tiny word like up, on, in, or away. The crucial part is, when they team up, a brand new meaning is created, one that's totally different from the original parts.
And here's that formula in action. It's so simple. Step 1, grab a verb you know, like call. Step 2, add a particle, like off. And boom, step 3, a new meaning is born. Call off doesn't mean anything about a phone, it means to cancel. See? It's a pattern you can learn to spot.
All right, now for the really fun part. Let's see some of these phrasal verbs out in the wild. All of the examples we're about to look at come straight from our source material, which just goes to show you how common they really are.
Okay, let's run through a few. We've got give up, which we talked about, to quit something, like a bad habit. Then there's call off, our example for cancel. Now, bring about, that's a great one. It means to cause something to happen, like to bring about change. And keep on, that's just a super common, casual way to say continue. See how different they all are from their original words?
Let's keep going, because some of these are even more interesting. Pass away is a much gentler, more polite way of saying that someone has died. Hit on is a cool one. It has nothing to do with physical hitting. It means you suddenly discover something, like you hit on a great idea. Then you've got give away, which means to distribute things, often for free. And of course, the famous one, break up, which means to end a relationship.
And for our last batch here, break into means to enter somewhere by force, illegally. And hey, would you look at that? Look into, meaning to examine. That's the one we kick this whole explainer off with. Then there's bring in, which is often used when talking about earning money. And go on, another super popular way to just say continue. The variety is just huge.
Okay, so we've seen the puzzle, we've learned the formula, but why does any of this matter? What's the big payoff? Well, this last section connects everything to what pretty much every language learner wants, to sound natural and truly fluent. And this, right here, is the big secret. This is why it matters. Native speakers use phrasal verbs all the time. It's just how we talk. Saying the meeting was called off sounds so much more natural than saying the meeting was canceled. Honestly, using these is one of the biggest things you can do to stop sounding like you're reading from a textbook. So let's wrap up with the key takeaways. What do you really need to remember? First, don't take them literally. The meaning is almost always something new. Second, context is your absolute best friend when you're trying to figure one out. Third, remember they are everywhere, so start listening for them in movies and music, just everywhere. Fourth, seriously, train your ear to catch them. And maybe most important of all, don't just try to memorize a giant list, focus on understanding the pattern.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The real magic isn't in memorizing endless vocabulary. It's in that aha moment when you get the formula, when you see how a verb and a little particle can team up to create a new idea. Once you get that, the whole system starts to make sense.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What's the one phrasal verb that really stumped you? The one that made you go, wait, what?
thinking about that is a fantastic way to keep this learning journey going. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.